Today I'm going to be comparing the new Moyu RS4M with the YJ MGC 4x4. Both of these cubes are budget cubes and are available on speedcubeshop.com. I'll leave a link to both of these in the description. Both the RS4M and YJ MGC are budget cubes at around the $15 to $20 range, but the RS4M is about $5 cheaper than the YJ MGC. As for the physical size, the RS4M is a little bit bigger. I think it's about 1 to 2 millimeters bigger. The YJ MGC is 60 millimeters and the RS4M is about 61 millimeters. Apart from the size, the RS4M is also quite a bit heavier than the YJ MGC, coming in at 180 grams versus something like, I think it was 120. So after you hold this for a while, this definitely feels a lot lighter in the hands. But smaller is not always better, as I find sometimes when I'm trying to do slices like this for PLR parity, sometimes my fingers get stuck because sometimes my finger is coming in at an angle like that, so it sort of hits this piece right here, whereas on the RS4, since the piece is a lot bigger, it's much easier for me to do slice moves. Both of these cubes came pretty tight and dry out of the box, but after a bit of lubing, both these cubes turned pretty well. Comparing the turning of the two, I'll say that the MGC is a little bit more smooth and also a little bit more quiet than the RS3M. You can tell that the RS3M is a little bit louder than the YJ MGC and also isn't as smooth as the MGC. However, the RS4M does tend to be quite a bit faster than the YJ MGC, and I think that's a great thing, especially in 4x4s. As you can see, the MGC is just a little bit more slow and sluggish than the RS4M. Personally, I like the speed of the RS4M quite a bit. I think it allows me to turn at my top speed without having too much difficulty. I can also turn pretty fast on this 4x4 without worrying about it popping or locking up. Whereas on the MGC, sometimes I'm afraid it will pop because this cube has popped on me multiple times on multiple occasions, and so I'm just a bit more wary when it comes to turning because I don't want to experience a pop. As for the forward corner cutting of the outer layers, both of these cubes can cut just under 45 degrees. As for corner cutting with the inner layers, both of them can do line to line, and for reverse corner cutting, both of them can do almost one piece. And the corner cutting of the inner layers like this is also pretty good on both of these cubes. Personally, I find that the YJ MGC, the inner layers are a little bit more slow and they don't turn quite as fast as the outer layers. The outer layers are pretty fast, but the inner layers don't turn quite as fast as the outer layers. Whereas on the RS4M, not only are the outer layers faster than the MGC, so are the inner layers. You can see how fast and how comfortable I am with turning the inner layers right here. And as for popping, the YJ MGC pops way more than the RS4M. And even when filming this video, this comparison right now, this cube has popped 3 times and I was testing the corner cutting, and this has not at all. I also find that the YJ MGC does lock out a little bit more than the RS4M. For the RS4M, mostly the turning is just really smooth. The turns go together really seamlessly and I don't really have huge lockups or catches. Whereas on the MGC, especially the inner layers of the MGC, I'm not too sure why, but sometimes like maybe the layers are a bit off or something and then they'll just catch and not corner cut properly. And also sometimes my layer is misaligned too much and I try and turn, the cube will just pop on me. Like, this should not be a thing, like this should not happen often, but this happens to me quite a bit on the MGC. Now personally, I do prefer the RS3M because I find that the turning is a lot quicker and it goes together a lot better than on the YJ MGC, especially doing stuff like parity. I find that the YJ MGC, the inner layers being a bit too slow, does cause me to have a little bit slower speed when it comes to parity or that kind of stuff. Whereas on the RS4M, it mostly just goes together pretty seamlessly because the inner layers are also quite fast as well. Also, I have unboxing and reviews on both these two cubes and I'll link that in the top right hand corner over there. Personally, I would recommend the RS4M. I know like the Cubicle released a video on this cube saying that it wasn't as good, but I personally really love it and I think you guys will too. I really like how fast it is, how fast, quick and responsive it is. But one quick thing to note though, if you do buy this cube, I recommend loosening it out of the box and putting in a bit of weight 5 lube on the tracks, and then on the pieces, I just added a bit of Galaxy lube from speedcubeshop.com, and now it turns together pretty fast and pretty smoothly. Now, the problem with the MGC is that I find that it catches a little bit too much, and it, as you can see right here, it just caught again. And I also find that it pops quite a bit more than the RS4M. Now, this cube used to be my main, but I think I might be switching to the RS4M because I find the RS4M turns really quickly, really smoothly, really responsively, and I'm just a massive fan of how this cube performs. Corner cutting is really good, pops and lockups don't happen that often, and the inner layers just go together really well. And I find I average actually half a second faster on the RS4M as compared to my other 4x4s. Now, I'm not a 4x4 pro or anything, so just take my opinion for what you think it's worth. And as for the cons of the RS4M, I'll personally have enjoyed it if the RS4M was maybe a little bit smaller. I think that it's great that I'm able to fit my ring finger into here, but I think maybe it was like half a millimeter small, that would have been the perfect or ideal size. And the main problem I have with this is the weight. I think it's a bit too heavy and bulky for me, but I think that the pros of this cube outweigh the cons, which is why I'm considering it as my new main. And if you guys want to buy this cube or the YG MGC, you can use the discount code MCubers at speedcubeshop.com to get a 5% discount off your order. Also, for those of you who don't know, I currently have a giveaway/contest on my Instagram, so make sure you guys click the top link in the description and enter the giveaway while it's still active, as it's going to be closing on the 10th of October. Alright, so hopefully you guys enjoyed my comparison of these two cubes. Hopefully you guys learned something new from this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.